What is up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing 3 of my favorite vegan recipes to make in the Instant Pot. As you guys know, I am obsessed with my Instant Pot, and these are 3 recipes that I make every single week. I am going to be using lentils in all of these recipes, and I love cooking with lentils because they have a ton of plant-based protein in them, and they have a lot of fiber, so they keep you full for a long time. All of these recipes are kind of like dump and go. I'm gonna keep these as simple as possible while still being healthy and have a lot of veggies in them. If you guys are new to my channel, make sure you subscribe, hit that red subscribe button down below, and turn on the bell so you don't miss every time I upload. I'm trying to be more consistent and post on Tuesdays and Saturdays, so stay tuned for all my future videos. So yeah, let's just get right on into these recipes. I'm gonna be filming these like throughout the week, so you can see like kind of a week's worth of dinners or 3 days worth of dinners. What I normally do is I'll make one of these for dinner, and then I'll have it for like lunch or dinner the next day as well. So these are really great for meal prep. So let's jump right on into it. This first recipe I'm going to show you is for curry rice with lentils and peas, all made together in the Instant Pot. It is a really easy, like all-in-one meal. It has a lot of protein in it and carbs, and yeah, it is a great side dish, but I like to just eat this on its own if I'm feeling pretty lazy. To start out, I have my Instant Pot on saute just heating up, and I'm gonna add in 1 small onion diced. This is optional. I've made this without the onion and it turns out just as good, but to give it some extra flavor, I'm gonna first saute the onion. And I'm also adding in a couple cloves of garlic, and I got this new garlic masher and it's so much fun, and I just want to add garlic to like everything now because it's so fun to use. It's like really satisfying. But anyways, it's starting to get brown on the bottom, so I splashed in a little bit of water and gave that a good stir. Next, I'm adding in 2 cups of brown rice that I rinsed off and 1 cup of brown lentils. Okay, it took me a long time to perfect the amount of water in this recipe. I think it's perfect if you use 3.5 cups of water. Any more and it becomes a little bit too mushy, and any less and the rice doesn't get cooked all the way and it's kind of chewy. So yeah, I like to do 3.5 cups of water. You could also do veggie broth if you want to add some more flavor, but I'm just going to keep it simple and do water. Next, I'm adding in 1.5 teaspoons of curry powder. You can add more if you want it to be more curry-y. Along with 1 bay leaf, a 1/2 teaspoon of cumin, and I'm adding in a 1/2 of this garden veggie bouillon cube. It has a lot of sodium, so that's why I'm only gonna add 1/2. And I'm breaking it up so that it gets dissolved better. And I'm just giving that a stir. And next I'm popping on the lid. Make sure the valve is set to sealing, and then press cancel on saute. And then I'm gonna press manual or pressure cook for 16 minutes, and when it's done, I'm gonna do a natural release for about 20 minutes. So I accidentally forgot about this and I didn't take off the lid until like an hour. So mine is gonna look a little mushy, but that is just because I forgot to take off the lid earlier. But next I'm gonna add 2 cups of frozen peas, and I like to add peas because it adds some more protein and veggies, and I just love peas. And I add them in afterwards so they don't get too overcooked, and it'll still be a little bit hot in the Instant Pot, so they will just defrost. And that is the finished recipe. Like I said, I will just eat this on its own, but it makes a really good side dish, and you can season it with more salt and pepper to taste. But yeah, that is the first recipe. This next recipe is my favorite pasta dish to make in the Instant Pot. I like to use lentil pasta from Trader Joe's because it holds up the best, in my opinion, without getting too mushy. So let's just get right on into it. To start out, I have my Instant Pot heating up on saute, and once it is nice and hot, I'm gonna go ahead and add in 1 yellow onion diced. And I'm just gonna let the onion cook for a couple minutes. It's kind of sticking on the bottom, so I should have splashed in some water, but it's kind of hard for me to see like around the tripod when I'm filming. But yeah, anyways, next I'm adding in 1 green bell pepper diced, along with a 1/2 of a package of mushrooms, so about 4 ounces of sliced baby portobello mushrooms. And I'm just giving that a quick stir. And here I splashed in some water to prevent it from burning. And I just let these veggies cook down for a couple minutes, about 2 or 3 minutes. Next, I added in 2 cloves of garlic and gave that a stir. I'm gonna be adding in this beefless beef from Trader Joe's. I've talked about this a few times on my channel. This is optional, but I like the texture that it adds and it adds a lot of protein to the dish. So in addition to the lentil pasta, this is a really high protein vegan meal. Next, I'm adding in a half of a tablespoon of Italian seasoning. I'm gonna add 4 cups of water total, so here I am adding in the first 2 cups of water. And you can add whatever marinara sauce is your favorite. I'm adding in a full jar of the Trader Joe's just like basic marinara sauce. And next I'm adding the other 2 cups of water, but I switched it around the tomato sauce jar to get the last bits of tomato sauce around the edges. And this is the bag of pasta I'm gonna be using. This is the red lentil pasta from Trader Joe's, like I said. It is 12 ounces, and I really like to use this one in the Instant Pot because it holds up really well, doesn't get too mushy, especially compared to other brands of bean pasta. I find that a lot of them turn to mush if you overcook them. So yeah, that's why I like to use this one in this recipe. And next I'm just popping on the lid, make sure the valve is set to sealing, and then press cancel on saute, and then I'm gonna press manual for 1 minute. When the timer goes off, I'm gonna do a 10-minute natural release. After the 10 minutes is up, there should be only a little bit of pressure left, so just go ahead and release the rest of the pressure. It'll be pretty liquidy right when you take off the lid, but just give it a stir and let it sit, and the liquid should get reabsorbed. And I just topped it off with a little bit of Daya mozzarella cheese, and that is the finished recipe. I love to make this when I'm in a pinch and I want something comforting and hearty or high in protein. This also works really great for meal prep in a pinch because you can just throw everything in the Instant Pot, and then once it's done, divide it up into containers. And yeah, this is one of my go-to recipes. I hope you guys enjoy. Let's jump on into recipe number 3. The last recipe I'm going to show you in this video is for a pretty simple but delicious vegetable lentil soup. Sounds kind of boring, but I make lentil soup all the time, so I figured I would include it in this video. And I love it because it has a lot of protein, but I can also put a lot of veggies in the soup, and it cooks pretty fast, and you just kind of throw it all in the Instant Pot and let it cook. To start out, I have the Instant Pot heating up on saute. And once that's heated up, I'm gonna add in 1 diced onion. And I splashed in some water to prevent sticking. And I just gave that a stir and let that cook down for a couple minutes. Next, I'm adding in about 6 cloves of garlic. And as you can see, it's kind of getting a little burnt on the bottom, so I splashed in some more water. Next, I'm adding in 3 celery sticks diced, 4 medium-sized carrots peeled and diced, 1 green bell pepper diced, and 2 russet potatoes cut into chunks. I don't know what size this is. And I added 4 ounces of mushrooms, chopped. And I'm using a whole pound of lentils, which is 2 1/4 cups, I think. And I just rinsed them off really, really good in a strainer. And for spices, I added in 2 bay leaves, a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Next, I'm adding in a teaspoon of this chicken seasoning, but you could just add in any type of vegetable bouillon. The chicken seasoning salt has salt, onion powder, turmeric, and garlic powder. So I'm just adding in a teaspoon of that for flavor. And lastly, for seasonings, I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of ground thyme. Next, I'm adding in 4 cups of veggie broth, along with 5 cups of water. And I'm just stirring everything together. Next, just pop on the lid. Make sure the valve is set to sealing, and I'm gonna press manual for 16 minutes. And when it's done, I'm gonna do a natural release for about 20 minutes. And there was still quite a bit of pressure after the 20 minutes, so I just went ahead and released the rest of the pressure. And while it's still hot, I'm gonna add in 1 pound of kale. And I washed this kale and destemmed it and then chopped it up into big chopped pieces. And then I chopped it up, and yeah, I'm just adding that in, and since the soup is still hot, it's going to wilt it down in just a couple minutes. And that is the completed recipe. Even though it might sound kind of like basic, I make this recipe all the time. It is one of my go-to meals because I feel like it is really healthy and has a lot of veggies. I like that I can put some kale or greens in there. And that concludes this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you try any of these recipes out or what your go-to Instant Pot recipes are that you make all the time. I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.